I should have cleared my mic before unmuting myself, shouldn't I? Where do I even fucking start? Where do I even start? I was in hospital for 7 weeks. I was in a coma for the first 2 of those weeks. Yeah, the reason I went into a coma, the reason I've been gone for now 8 weeks, I was in hospital for 7 weeks, I haven't been able to stream in the first week because I've been too fucked up, was I was closing my window at home on the 3rd story. The window is broken in such a way that you had to kind of like lean out of the window to close it, and I tried to lean out of the window to close it, I fell because the window was broken. Is it okay to make jokes? You can make a little bit of jokes. I'm not like that sore about it. I don't know, sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. But let me, before you make too many jokes, let me tell you about how bad the injuries were. Because this'll, let me get a notepad document up. I've actually been thinking about how I do this. Oh, no, fuck. I'm really, partly, I'm kind of blind right now. I can't do stuff very well, and I'll explain, you'll be explained why. I'll explain why. The injuries are, basically, first, my skull split open. This is the big one. Okay, I'll just write traumatic brain injury. Oh my god, I can't type. I'm a bit blind. Traumatic brain injury. 2 bleeds on brain. I'll call it, it's called a subdural hematoma. 2 bleeds in my brain. 2 contusions, which is a medical word for bruises. Not bruisers. Oh my god, my brain's still prodded from League, not bruisers. 2 bruises on my brain. Now my eyes, this is important. The eyes are important, so listen up. I just got a message on Discord saying I need Tom coaching from someone I went to university with. Can you fuck off? Viscous hemorrhaging in right eye. This means there's blood in my eyes. Basically, I hit my head so hard that my brain started bleeding and the blood leaked inside my eyes. And there's also submacular hemorrhaging in left eye. This one's worse. So luckily, my right eye, I'm very right eye dominant in how I see usually. And my left eye is beyond fucked. I'm like 90% blind in my left eye because it is literally full of blood. You don't even know how much blood there is inside my eyeball right now. In my right eye, it's getting a lot better. It was awful. I was nearly fully blind. I was getting close to fully blind. Is it permanent? No. I might need surgery. The surgery is not high risk, but it's not low risk either. So we'll see. My right eye should clear on its own, and I'm like super fucking lucky. I'm super fucking lucky. That the eyes happened the way they did. My right eye ended up not as bad. Still really bad for the record, but not as bad. And my left eye ended up giga fucked. Okay. Let me keep going. Let me keep going down the body. So that's up to my eyeballs. That's the main stuff from the head. Other than this, my head, my skull was super lopsided. I'm not going to show you a picture. Luckily, it's recovered. So if you ever see a photo of me at TwitchCon again, my head was like caved in, and there was a massive blob, maybe like, I don't know, like 8 centimeters by 4 centimeters of just brain fluid. I don't know. I think your brain releases it to like protect it from swelling. I don't fucking know. But it's fucking... No, Whatley, did you watch Gen G vs Fly? Can you fuck off? I actually did watch Gen G vs Fly, but I have no vision. Anyway. Fracture in spine. This is not as bad as it sounds. It's, it was, like, fracture in spine sounds very scary, but, like, I don't know, it was manageable. This was not the worst. Fracture in pelvis. Broken foot. My foot was... well, the way I fell and my foot got caught in a metal gate as I was falling. It got like twisted in it. I don't know the details because obviously, by the way, I don't remember a single fucking thing. And I asked the doctors about it and they said it's completely normal. My brain injury is extremely severe. I don't remember weeks running up from the accident really. But I wanted to go home, dude. You don't know, after 7 weeks in hospital, I needed to get home. I needed to get home like nothing else in my life. Are you going to name change to Brain Damage Whatley? Dude, my next account name is No Coma Whatley. Like, actually. But, like, these are the important ones, okay? And in terms of importance, these are the worst by far. So let me show you something. So if I look up subdural hematoma survival rate. 50% to 90%. So, I mean, that's a pretty wide margin, but this is the death rate, okay, for my brain injury, depending on the source. And look at this. That's not even the scary part. Do you know, this isn't the scary part here at all. I should move the VTubers thing up so my editor can use it, maybe. This isn't the scary part at all. The scary part is this. So even assuming you survive, even let's assume it's like an 80% death rate or something. Oh, what did I click on? Fuck. I'm kind of blind because of my eyes, so... What did I do here? Sorry. It's hard to stream. I'm reading chat, but sometimes it's hard to read chat. If I miss a message, just, like, don't sweat it, because I'm fucking blind. I can only see out of one eye, and even that eye is fucked. Like, I'll explain the eye stuff next, okay? So this is the scary part. Approximately 20 to 30% of patients, and this is the ones that survive, by the way. This is the ones that don't die, will recover full or partial brain function. So let's assume it's 50% death rate. Even under the best case scenario, 50% survival, it's only 20% of people who even survive are getting full or partial brain function back. Now, how brain damaged do I sound right now? Be honest with me, lads. How brain damaged do I sound? Let's go back to the funny image that I got my editor to make me. I'm so lucky you don't even know, okay? Look, let me explain some of the reasons that I'm lucky. So you don't even have to feel bad for me, because you can't feel bad for lucky people. Okay, I fell when I was about to go to bed at 8 a.m. Usually my mother is out at 8 a.m. I was visiting my mother at the time, which is lucky thing number one. I hit a couple of things on the way down from the 3rd story, which I'm pretty sure slowed my fall and made me okay. So that was lucky. My mother was luckily not shopping at the time. She was actually and she was in the room, like, that was nearest to where I fell. So she heard me fall and instantly went to, obviously, like, be like, what the fuck? So she checked on me. She found my limp, bleeding, battered, bruised body, me screaming. I don't remember a thing. Apparently I was just screaming fuck over and over again. I don't remember a thing. She called the ambulance, obviously, instantly. I told her not to call the ambulance. I don't remember this, but I thought I was going to be fine. Apparently, I was just laying there telling her, screaming fuck and saying, don't call the ambulance, and I'll just go back inside. And, you know, so another way I'm insanely lucky is they called the ambulance, but they didn't just call an ambulance, they called a helicopter for me. I'm just barely in range, like, property-wise, to be in the range of this hospital that had a helicopter. And it's so lucky the helicopter was actually, free at the time. It was not busy. So they helicoptered me to hospital. They put a bunch of tubes in me. I started having seizures, apparently. I had a bunch of seizures, apparently, and got dragged to hospital. I had what is called a craniotomy. Now, I hope you guys don't know what a craniotomy is. What a craniotomy is I'll actually Google it for you just so you can see. Basically, it's not about the brain tumor. I did not have a brain tumor. They looked in my head. It's this. Open the head. They basically cracked my skull open, okay? They basically cracked my skull open. It was already fucked up because, yeah, this guy got it right in chat. My brain was swelling really quickly, and brain swelling against the skull is obviously really bad. So they cracked my skull open to give it places to expand to, remove some of my skull, end up later on installing a plate in it. You know what's fucked about this, by the way? I didn't realize this till a few days after I woke up from the coma. Yeah, I went into a coma, by the way. I've already mentioned that. I went into a coma after, I don't know, sometime in the helicopter, probably, because I was having seizures. I don't fucking know the details. Dude, you know what's fucked? This is going to gross you guys out. I could move parts of my skull around with my hands for a few weeks afterwards. I can only do it a tiny bit now. I can still do it a tiny bit. I could... Oh, are there ads on? No, dude, how do I turn off ads?
This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow...
I shouldn't have ads on right now. I promise you guys, I'm not trying to monetize this. Yeah, so they cracked my skull open, did all that. I went into a coma. I went into a coma for about 2 weeks. Yeah, I could fucking move around parts of my skull for weeks after waking up, which is weird as fuck. Yeah, I had a craniotomy, went into a coma. I can't tell you much from the coma. You know what? I can tell you a funny story from being in the coma, okay? Do you want me to tell you a funny story? I woke up from the coma. I don't vividly remember this because I was on a truly ridiculous amount of drugs. I don't even want to talk about how many drugs I was on. I can remember weeks after them handing me like basically a fucking like little bucket of pills to swallow. Apparently, The moment I woke up, like, the first moment I was fully conscious, I saw my mother. My mother was there, luckily. I started screaming to her about how the doctors were, like, sexually assaulting me. Like, fully drugged up, just woken up from the coma. The first thing I say is I start screaming. I'm telling my mother to get me out of here because I'm being, like, raped and stuff. Obviously not true, but I woke up with a bunch of tubes in me. I started trying to rip the tubes off, all this shit. And my mother was, like, horrified. My mother was, like, horrified because she just watched the doctors take care of me for 2 weeks and try everything they could to make sure I wasn't one of the fucking 90% of people who fucking die. Oops, I'm pressing the wrong buttons. Wasn't one of the 90% of people who fucking die from this shit. But, you know, the doctors looked at her, apparently, and this is according to her, and they were like, apparently it's completely normal. Apparently it's completely fucking normal for patients to say this. And you know what? It's like completely standard. It happens nearly every time. And it kind of makes sense. Retrospectively, it kind of makes sense, because I'd wake up a couple of times in the coma and whatever and look around, and all I can remember was getting tubes pumped full of me and stuff. So it kind of makes sense why. But I have some really fucked up memories, and the memories aren't real. The memories are not real, but I have memories of... And I think the reason I did that is because I had to have the catheter, like, installed and, like, rotated. You know what a catheter is? Basically a tube they stick inside your cock to make it so it you just piss and it just goes into the tube, right? I don't even know how I shit. I haven't even asked how I shit. Yeah, so the doctors weren't offended. I actually saw some of the intensive care doctors, or is it intensive care? I can't remember. Anyway, some of the doctors looked after me when I was in the coma. I actually met them later on, and they were, like, amazed that I'd recovered, because they were telling my mother shit like, you need to prepare for him to not recover. Like, either not wake up, or if he does wake up, have, like, pretty severe disabilities, right? And they were telling my mother that. And my mother was obviously Googling. So they were amazed to see me, like, walking around. I was pretty fucked up when I saw them, but they were pretty amazed to see me walking around. Yeah, so anyway, that's the funny story about the coma. I have vivid memories of being sexually assaulted by doctors, even though they're not real. Even though it didn't happen, it's just fever dreams from being insanely drugged up. Sorry, this is the first time I'm streaming. I'm struggling streaming, basically because I'm, like, still fucked up. I'm still very fucked up from this incident. And also I haven't streamed in, like, 8 weeks, so I'm struggling a little bit, but hey. I got put on a brain damage ward with 6 brain damaged patients. I couldn't sleep, both because I was so fucked up on drugs and because I was in a room with 6 men who were all snoring insanely loudly. 6 fat men, all snoring ridiculously loud. So I was on, like, 2 hours sleep a night, drugged out of my mind, just come out of a coma, insanely groggy. I could feel the parts of my skulls moving around in my head. I can still hear, okay, you know what's freaky? This is going to be something you've never even thought of. My heart, I can feel my heart beat through my skull, and it jiggles the pieces of my skull around when my heart beats. That's fucked, no? It's not as bad now. It's a little bit less frequent now, but still I can hear, like, clicking in my skull, which is like my skull banging together as my heart beats. But at some point in the future, not too soon, I would like to do a charity stream for some of the people that basically saved me. But yeah, I'm a bit broke just because I didn't stream for 2 months. So yeah. Oh yeah, one more symptom. You'll laugh at this as well. You'll laugh at this symptom. Permanent loss of taste. You'll laugh at this one, dude. I'll put maybe afterwards. It might come back, but it usually doesn't, from what I've been told. From what I've talked to with doctors and shit. Yeah, this is exactly the joke I knew what everyone was going to get. You already have no sense of taste. I can taste salt. I thought I was getting my taste back because I started over-salting my food, but I realized I wasn't tasting the food, I was just tasting salt. For some reason, I can still taste salt, but other than that, like, actual flavor, I cannot taste. Thank fuck I'm not French or Italian, dude. Genuinely, thank fuck I'm not French or Italian, because imagine my life if I was French or Italian and food was, like, an important part of my culture, an important part of my fucking, like, life. This would be, like, backbreaking if I was a food kind of guy. Luckily, I don't care that much about food. It still really sucks. I've also got no appetite. So for the past 8 weeks, I have been eating food. I've lost 10 kilograms since the coma. I'm extremely skinny now. Not Tom Kench. Not Tom Kench at all. I'm extremely skinny. Oh, yeah. And I'm bald now. This is not exactly a symptom, but to do the brain surgery, they had to shave my head. They had to shave my... They left me a little bit of hair on the right side because they were mainly doing surgery on the left side of my skull where all the bleeding and shit was. But I just shaved it off anyway because I was like, why the fuck do I have hair on the left side of my head? I'll just look like cyberpunk lesbian girl. I don't want that. So I shaved off the rest of my head. Guys, I've just come out of a coma. It's my first stream back. I had a 90% chance of dying and everyone's making fun of me for having no hair. Anyway, my hair will grow back, but my hairline's so bad. And again, no, you can't have a picture. You don't know how bad my hairline is. Like, the amount of feelings that are really abstract, and probably feelings that you guys haven't even felt, because I hope none of you have suffered in this way, at least, or anything. I hope nothing this bad physically has ever happened to you. It's really, really fucked. First thing, dude, I didn't even tell that story. Yeah, one of the first things I did on the first ward after waking up, I swear on my life this is a true story. I realized, I looked at the day, and I realized it was post-Worlds patch, like the new season patch, effectively. And they've reworked everything. And because I couldn't move, I couldn't walk, I couldn't see anything, I couldn't read properly, what I did on like one day is I listened for 2.5 hours to a freak patch rundown. 2.5 hours of freak patch rundown, and I was literally crying because I was like, this season is so good for Tom Kench. It's so insane, man. And I was like borderline crying because I couldn't play League. Dude, I was so sad, and I was theory crafting builds for Tom Kench in my head while in hospital with my skull in pieces and everything. I'm gonna go against Grain and say thank you to the Riot dev that made Yumi, because I've actually played like 5 games of Yumi. Proving Garen played for I will milk this for content. Like, this is the most tragic thing to ever happen to me. Well, maybe second most tragic, actually. But for me personally, this is by far the worst physical thing that's ever happened to me, and I will be milking it for content. If you're a viewer of mine, I will be milking all of this for content, and that's my right, because I've suffered like few people have. Few people, even in their old age, will have injuries and stuff this bad, this torturous, and this dangerous. So I will be milking it for content, and that's my God-given right, and if you don't like it, you can fuck off. You can fuck off.
Another meal.
I hope you never have kids. Thanks, buddy. How about I have kids with you? How about I repeatedly ejaculate inside you until you get pregnant? How about that? Shut up. I don't know why I said that. That was a bit weird. I'll be honest. That was kind of creepy. I don't even know what that was. I don't know if that was like, I don't even know what I was. It's Pride Month.